Hey, Scott Johnston here. I want to read to you a passage from Psalm chapter 8. Here's what it says. It says, Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory in the heavens. Through the praise of children and infants, you have established a stronghold against your enemies, to silence the foe and the avenger. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them. That comes from Psalm chapter 8, verses 1 to 4. And it reminded me of a moment when I used to work as a camp counselor at a place called Campus by the Sea. And I loved being at these family camps. And I've grown up at family camps my whole life. So much of my discipleship was there. And one of these summers, I was working as a camp counselor, and I watched as on the basketball court, this dad was playing with his little boy. Now, this little boy was probably like 3 or 4 at the time. And the basketball hoop wasn't a lowered hoop. It was just like, it was, regulation size hoop, and it was all the way up there. And so this little boy literally can't throw the ball high enough to make the basket. And I watch as he shoots it and he misses, and he shoots it and he misses. And each time, like he gets a little bit frustrated. And then finally the dad comes over, he picks up the little boy, reaches him up as high as he can. And finally the boy just barely manages to get the basketball into the hoop. And you know what the little boy said? He goes, I did it! And he starts celebrating, and he starts going, yeah, I did it, I did it, I did it. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I'm going, no, you didn't, right? Because I'm watching the whole situation. I'm going, you could never have done that without your dad. You could never have done that without your father. And it made me think about this passage, because I wonder sometimes, where do I do that in my own life? You see, I look at this passage, and if you notice, there's a pattern that happens in those verses. It says, how majestic is your name in all the earth? What has God done? You have set your glory. Through the praise of children and infants, you have established a stronghold against your enemies. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, it has nothing to do with us. Everything that we see and experience, even our own bodies, everything is the work of God. That God is the one who does all of these things, and it begs the question, who are we that God is mindful of us? Why does God think about us and consider us and look at us? And I think back to that moment with the boy and his dad on the basketball court, and I come to the conclusion that God is mindful of you because he loves you, because he has created you in his image, that you are valuable to God. That when the psalmist writes this, he goes, yes, God, your work is so great and amazing and glorious, and we should be humbled by that because we are just a small piece of that creation, and yet you single us out, God, for your loving kindness. I hope that encourages you today.